Okay, unbelievably, at 1 minute till, my video went live, and so it's all on the same stream. So hi, amazing! I love it when technology works out perfectly. Today, I thought we'd talk about doing something cool, but I also wanted to mention, you know, when I was a kid, and I lived in a bunch of different places, but one of the things that I used to do when I was in New Mexico and when I lived in San Antonio is I was always fascinated by ants. And, not trying to sound too terribly cruel, but I used to like kick over the anthills to watch all this chaos. And then slowly they would like get back into some type of order. And I miss you too, Grace. uh, they would get back into order. Uh, and when I was in New Mexico, they had those giant red ants and the giant black ants, and you just like take a stick and you put it in uh, their path, and it was interesting that there'd be chaos, and then you'd see a bunch of ants come out, and they'd pick this thing up and they'd move it out. So that's kind of that's kind of what's going on. Is we've had our chaos, and we've figured out how to work or how to stay home and all this other stuff. And I don't know about you, but I've done all of my laundry. I've cleaned my house twice. I've clipped my fingernails, trimmed the hair in my ears, and done all of the nifty things that we can do that we usually do on weekends. And it's Friday. So Dallas is a highly, highly mobile place. Everybody goes out on Friday. They might go to happy hour, or they might go to a movie. My big ritual is to go to lunch, and then uh, and then probably go see a movie. And my favorite is like Studio Movie Grill because they have cocktails. But so I wanted to kind of talk about, there are so many people out there that are doing fun stuff. I talked to one of my clients this morning, and tomorrow she's going to a Zoom event, and she's a part of a program called the SCA. So they're going to be singing Baird songs, and I guess they're I wish I could explain that, but I mean, it's like, it sounds cool to me. I'm actually going to have a happy hour on Zoom tomorrow at 4 p.m. If you send me an email or PM me, I'll send you the Zoom link. It'll also be on the YouTube, and we're just going to hang out and play music and do like pretty much what we're doing for a couple of hours, but with more people. It just sounds like fun to me. I went to a happy hour last night and just hung out for an hour, and made a martini at home, and it was kind of fun. It was great connecting and talking to humans. I seem to be a whole lot more social than I realized. So I highly recommend that get on your social media, get on your feeds, and see if there is something for you to participate in, uh, to stay busy and to stay moving. I do know that there's some dance parties out there. My friend Kitty Chumbliss did a dance thing yesterday, which fun. Um, and then the other thing that I wanted to talk about today, I guess today will be a short video, and then I'll see you guys on Monday, is because we've been in this chaos for a little while. I want you to think about, being still. We've talked about breathing and talk about getting into that internal space. But I'd like you to try this today, if you can. Is find a spot, get quiet. You can listen to some music, or you can breathe, or you can do kind of whatever it is to get yourself kind of into that zone. And I was actually doing this with a client this morning that has a heel problem. And I'm out walking by the lake and talking to her on the phone, and she's out walking. I'm like, hey, have you had a conversation with your heel? And what she uh, what she did was is she just kind of went internal, had a conversation with her heel, and she's like, that sounds strange. And I'm like, what? And she said, well, it's connected to the knee. And I said, well, okay, go up to your knee and ask the knee what's going on. What does it need? And she went up and to the knee, and then the knee directed her up to her quadriceps. And and there's four specific muscles in the quadricep, and come to find out that there's two quadriceps that she has that needed compression. And I'm like, do you know how to do that? And she's a massage therapist. She's like, yeah. So I said, make a date with your quadriceps for compression. And apparently it involved and went up into the hip or into the groin area and stuff. And I said, is there anybody else that has something to say? And apparently her coccyx need, according to her, need freedom. And I'm not really sure what that means, but it will work. And this might sound strange, but if you talk to your body just like you would another human being or a tree or an animal, or we talk to our pets all of the time, and just go, what do you need? And be quiet and listen. And if you do that, your body will actually begin communicating with you what its needs are. Maybe it needs to move. Maybe it needs to be still. Maybe it needs some repetitive task, go do some yard work or go for a walk or something like that. But, the weekend's coming up, and we'll be okay on Monday because we got to go back to work and all of that stuff. But let's get through this first weekend, because somebody has kicked the top of your anthill off and there's a lot of chaos. Give yourself enough time to create order and to reestablish whatever type of activities of daily living that are acceptable based on this time. I realize that everything's kind of like crazy and we don't know what's happening yet. And I do highly recommend that you limit the amount of news that you watch, because there's lots of conflicting reports, but those people make a living by keeping you glued to the TV set. And nothing sells better than fear, and nothing sells better than sex. So just kind of take a few minutes and take stock in what you're doing. Yesterday we talked about talking to your spouse or coworkers or your children, and just breathe and just take the time, because we have it, to have a conversation, and where you can feel the words flowing through you. You can feel the other person's words, and if those words don't feel good, maybe you can say, is there another way that you could say that makes us both feel good? That might be a different way of communicating in a way that maybe they just haven't thought about it. Maybe they have automatic responses and they just hadn't taken the time to consider what the impact of their words might be, to themselves and to you. So anyway, short video today. Please send me an email and I'll send you the Zoom link if you want to join the happy hour. As always, if you need something, please sign up for a free 15-minute consultation. And somebody actually contacted me yesterday, so thank you. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later.